What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Game Club Podcast, a podcast dedicated to talking about video games. This week, we're talking about Mario Odyssey with a+start.
Hi, guys.
And Beta64.
Yep, that's me.
I'm She Says, and let's get this discussion going, fellas. What did you think of the brand new Super Mario Odyssey, which this discussion will have full spoilers for the record.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. But if we're going to talk about it, then there's so many cool things that are spoilery that, it has to be touched upon. You got to touch it.
You got to touch it. You got to grasp the moves.
So, yeah, we're going to be talking about the good things.
So do we just go for like an overview? It's just, I got too many specific things to say. It's good.
Yeah, well, let's cover some story. The story is very basic. It's a Mario game. Peach, it's a game about hats, essentially. But yeah, Bowser for some reason wants to marry Peach. Just because it's very normal in the Mushroom Kingdom apparently. And the whole goal at the very beginning of the game. Mario's trusty, famous hat is basically stepped on and destroyed, and this other character called Cappy kind of steps in and he repairs the cap, right? I remember.
Well, not really repairs. I think it's more of duplicates.
Yeah.
He kind of like becomes the hat.
Yeah.
I think it's an optical illusion. I actually did research on the subject.
Oh, really?
I wrote a paper.
Yeah, there's a small cutscene where Cappy and Mario kind of meet. And Cappy's reasons for going on this adventure is he's trying to save his sister, Tiara, who is the kind of tiara that Peach is wearing in a lot of the promo stuff we saw before they changed it to be. I wonder how, this is a strange thing, I wonder how soon into development they knew that was going to be a thing, because the first reveals of this game show Peach without that character involved. So I wonder how...
I know exactly how.
I wondered if it was just Game Explain doing too well at the old analysis machine type thing, and Nintendo picked up on it. It's like, we don't want to reveal anything. Let's just change the cutscene so they can't guess anything.
Honestly, that's exactly what they did. They removed his eyes from all the footage until there was one point there they revealed it, and then they were like, now eyes in every bit of footage.
Okay.
You'll learn that on the Beta64 episode coming in 2 weeks.
Oh, damn, man, you're always plugging.
I'm always plugging. Why do you think I do this podcast?
He's always plugged in.
That's Cappy's reason for going on this adventure. So Mario's trying to save Peach from this wedding with Bowser, which just sounds really weird, but okay. And then, Cappy's trying to go up to Tiara.
That's what you think's the weird part? Not the life-size dinosaurs and the human beings?
Yeah, so that's the story. The story is very simple. There's a lot of little mini stories, I guess, plotted around in each world. But that's mostly to do with Bowser. Bowser is trying to set up the wedding. So he goes to all the... How many worlds are there? 12? What do you think about this?
Ballpark, yeah. Unfortunately, we'd have to look it up, but...
Yeah, there's a lot of worlds, and they each have a theme that ties into Bowser needing something from that world for the wedding. So, for instance, there's a kind of beach world where they have sparkling water for the ocean for some reason, and that's the champagne. And then there's a world for making the cake, and then... Yeah, it's... A bit strange for Nintendo to lean into the booze scene a little bit, It's strange.
Hey, no, they did it in Super Mario Kart,
Oh,
that's true.
Until they cut it.
Yeah, that is where they cut it. They were like, wait, that was a bad idea.
Oh, wait, the kids don't drink.
2017, bringing it back.
Yeah.
So the story, I don't really like how involved the story is, which is kind of strange for me. Really? I don't like how in between every level you got Cappy yapping, and he yaps during the stages and everything.
I don't know.
See, I love the little Cap's personality. Mr. Cappy, he's got his own little thing. It's yeah, you hit him.
Yeah, I like that he's his own character. I like how I think he's more interactive with Mario than most side characters are. Yeah. We've had Luma before, haven't we, in the Galaxy games?
We've had Flood.
Yeah,
and Flood,
Luma is very hands-off, and so is Flood to an extent. He got introduced at the start, but, he wasn't, talking every Tuesday.
Yeah, he was.
Well,
Mario.
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 Mario. Yeah, but like, you know, he wasn't like trying to be like, this is about me. Hey guys, I'm Flood. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't really his story. Where you feel like this story is about Mario and Cappy as a team going for the same goal, essentially. So
yeah.
But I like that.
Okay,
Yeah, I kind of like that too.
You know what it is? This is something that
Your opinion's wrong, she says.
Oh
God
yeah.
damn.
No, my opinions are very, very wrong. So if you're open to new things with Mario, this is gonna be like a great game for you. Because there's so many things that they rock the foundation of Mario in so many different ways, and to me, I don't like it. I don't like that at all. I mean, there's so many things I love. I want to get that out of the way real quick. I love that you can change your costumes. I actually do love the diversity of the worlds. You know, it's so much better than what it was in Super Mario 3D World, where it was just like the canned Mario places. But that's the thing is, Super Mario World also kind of like did diverse areas and introduced a lot of new things. But there's two key differences between Super Mario World and Super Mario Odyssey, where Super Mario World tried to still maintain a like look and feel for what the Mario franchise is.
We talking about 3D World?
No, just regular world.
Oh, just regular world. Okay.
Where it tried to maintain what, you know, the world, like the aesthetic of Mario is, like it tried to cement that. And so like all the characters and everything had this distinct Mario look. Mario Odyssey throws that out completely out the window. A little redundant there. But you know, with characters with human faces and stuff like that, like superhuman realistic faces. I don't dig that. You know, it's funny because I know I'm gonna give you the floor back to you guys.
You're gonna get flamed in the comments. Oh my gosh, you were asking for trouble.
Oh yeah, trust me, I'm a bad boy this week. No, but you know, like you got Mayor Pauline, which is awesome. Like Pauline's back, fantastic, and she has the Mario aesthetic. But then she's in a world.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
And so all I can think to myself is, all right, Pauline's here, and that's awesome. How come the rest of the characters in this world can't have that Mario aesthetic?
Oh my God, why did I not pick up? You're exactly right. I mean, yeah. Why don't they not all look like Pauline? That would make more sense.
Well, because it's awesome that they all look like human.
Okay, no, it would be more awesome if they
my
looked.
My turn. Beta 64. I have the talking stick.
There it is.
There is something beautiful about having these contrasting art styles. Okay, I took a game development class. Okay, and they're like talking about art consistency, where everything in your game should look like it's from the same style. That is wrong. Odyssey does it completely different, and it's so good. When I'm walking in the desert world and I see this human being there with this car, and he's just like, forget about it. I'm walking here. It's freaking like the best thing in the world.
The thing is, I don't think, because I agree with what she says, to be honest. We're not saying like, it's just weird how like Pauline and the real humans exist in that same world. So why does Pauline look like a Mario character and the people don't? Like that
I think you're getting into the lore a little too much.
No, I think it would look cooler because I don't really like how the real people look anyway. Like whether that was the whole game, I don't think they look good. I think the world they're in looks fantastic, but I think they should be more stylized, and I don't think anybody would have bat an eyelid. In fact, when they first revealed the trailers for this, the first thing that people picked up was like, ugh, real people, ugh, it's weird. I think they would have been less that if they all looked like Pauline in that stylized kind of design.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you guys are saying. I'm picking up what
I know
you're
you
putting
feel
down.
me.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, but there's something about it. It's just
wrong.
It's
I know.
Different.
So
it's
like,
different.
here's I'm actually gonna cycle back to my original point too. Is there's actually nothing wrong with a clash of art styles. I actually kind of like that quite a great deal. Worlds colliding. Kingdom Hearts. Why not? But the thing is, with me, this could have been a Mario game with Mario aesthetics across every single world. And still have that distinct different vibe from world to world, you know? Like all the characters could have still looked like they were designed by the same character designer, but still had the same themes that they introduced in this one that was so great, you know. Angry Dragon, that Angry Dragon looked amazing, but you still could have Mario'd it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get like a really distinct like Sonic Adventure 2 vibe, which I know a lot of people are making that connection.
Yes.
Very early on with the trailers, but it hit me super hard at the end of the game when all of a sudden, like, you know, you're Bowser and like some vocal track comes on, and I'm like, this is like Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I said. I was sitting there with Elliot and my girlfriend, and we were just watching me play the game, and we were all wrapped up in it. And it gets to the point where at the very end of the game, you're Bowser, and you have to take down these pillars. There's 4 on the outside, and there's 1 in the middle. And I was like, this is very much a Sonic thing to do. This is a Sonic Adventure kind of thing to do. And yeah, like you mentioned with the vocalized music in the background. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that moment as a whole where you're Bowser, I didn't see that coming, and I should have. And I didn't see it coming until like just as we knock him out, and then he's got the stars around his head. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna let us be Bowser. And then jump in, I was like, this is amazing. There are so many moments like that in this game that for me makes it really, really special. And I can see why everybody's praised it, to the ground, because it's there's a lot of heart being put into this game. I mean, it's Nintendo. It's got somebody, I forget what I said on Twitter, something about, it was a very small detail, and somebody said, well, that's the Nintendo polish, and they're exactly right, you know. They brushed this one up a charm. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh. So we all agree everything's great and everything's perfect, right?
Yeah, so it's a great game. You should go out and buy it, right?
All
That
right,
was the shortest podcast
It's a
ever.
great Game Club podcast.
I pretty much like I raise it up to this. It's just it's a really well-made Mario game. It's certainly one of the better ones in a while, because I really did not like Super Mario 3D World. I thought it was a very lazy, uninspired game. That's a discussion for another time. But this one certainly rectifies that, but introduces things that I hope it doesn't stay that way. You know, like to me, like this game is great. It plays great. The environments are great, and some of the new features are great, like added control. And costumes, things of that ilk. But my biggest complaint with this whole game is that nothing's sacred, according to whoever designed this game. You know, there were like so many things, just like there's no consistency in the art style, and that to me that just bothers me. And I know it shouldn't bother anybody. Like that's the most nitpicky thing that you can talk about, but I'm looking back on this one and I'm like, you know, I think I would rather go back to Super Mario 64 because it just had a consistency, you know. And there's still things that it does better than this game too. Like, you know, one of the things that they were riding up on this game all the way up to its release was it's the first open world or open sandbox Mario game since Mario 64 and Sunshine, but it doesn't really quite hit the same notes as those two games did that made them so special.
I can agree with that. When I booted up this game, I was like expecting I was going to go in this huge world and just start exploring, but it's still very linear.
Yeah.
This game is still very incredibly linear in how it's designed, and I don't mind it. I mean, it still has that kind of note of... It feels like a halfway point between the linear Mario games and the open world ones, but it doesn't really do either. But I wish it did do open world, because
Okay, so yeah, I mean, right, to address the aesthetic thing and how there's no consistency, I think that kind of works for this game, because it's very evident that you are going to very different worlds. It is very strange how they're all on the same planet. That does, now you've mentioned it, that does kind of bother me a little bit, but the thing that really did jar me was the real humans, and the point you made about Pauline, that I agree with that completely. But as far as aesthetic goes and the consistency thereof in each different world, I think it kind of it works for this game somehow. That didn't really bother me. In regards to like how linear and, you know, it's supposedly supposed to be open world, and I didn't really think about it as I was playing, but now I'm thinking about it, and the worlds are very like. The best way I could describe this game is, in Mario 64 and Sunshine, you had an objective. You grabbed the the shine or the star, and then you were sent back to the hub world. You jump back in the painting or back in the spray paint, whatever, and then you go back into that world and you have another objective. This game isn't like that. This game is a bit like if there's a point from A to B, and on that journey you'll get a moon here, a moon there, and you're slowly making your way to B. You know, there's no kind of popping back into a hub world. It's all, cause there is a very direct path, you know, because the way the game kind of is tailored, you don't have to get every moon required in the world, but there is a set number. And then you have to, you know, go from A to B and get as many moons as you can, and then there's a boss usually at the end. That was an interesting move, I feel. Like it felt like they trimmed the fat. That kind of, in the old games, getting the star, going back to the hub world, jumping back in, getting the next star, going back to the hub world. They kind of just cut out the hub world, and they just said, right, you just go from here to there, you get as many moves as you can come back to the Odyssey, and then we go to the next world. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting move. But what I don't really understand, as I believe it, there's 500 moons in the entire game, and some of them are just so like, oh, there's a moon. You didn't have to do anything for it. There it is. It's just there. You just have it. You know, which kind of feels like padding suddenly. It's like I would have maybe preferred there'd been less moons with more, I don't know, more about them, more. You know, maybe this one's out of the way, you got to get that one, and not just like some of them literally to paint a picture in people's minds that haven't played it. Yeah, there'll be one under a hump. You just ground pound it and there's a moon. There you go, have it.
And you know, like
no challenge.
Honestly, like I didn't think too much of that. Like I knew that was the difference, but I was like, this is fine. But there is one thing that makes it a detracting experience, and that's if you recall to Mario 64, you can be like, oh man, I loved the Bob-omb Battlefield because you got to race the Koopa, you got to release the Chain Chomp, you got to battle with King Bob-omb, you know. So like when you think back to each individual area, there's distinct scenarios that you're like, man, that was great. That's why I like that world. In this one, it's so riddled with so many different collectibles that it kind of muddies the experience. It's like you know, you go. Think back on the Luncheon Kingdom, right? Mm-hmm. What were some of the name like 3 very distinct moons that you got from that one? Now there are like key scenarios. There is like a main part to each world, so you can be like, for Luncheon Kingdom, I'm trying to think of like what was really special about that one.
See, that was one of my least favorite worlds in the game. You have the boss battle with the Cookatiel.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's one, but that's, you know, the boss battles are actually okay in this game.
I didn't like them.
They're very simple.
Yeah,
there's nothing too special.
Were just too simple, and there wasn't much to it. Like, okay, let me give you a specific example. One that's like vomiting poison or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I
the
love
bunny,
that.
the bunny.
That was, I mean, I thought it was hilarious, but there was one point where it's like you have to get him to choke on his vomit. And I was like, I was trying to hit the guy in the stomach with the cap, but nothing was working, and it was just like, it seemed like it was random. How were you supposed to get him to choke on the vomit? Because I never figured it out. Is it just timed?
Wait, which boss is this?
The guy, the only one that vomits, the one in Woodland Kingdom.
Woodland Kingdom.
It's like 3rd kingdom in the game.
Yeah. I don't know.
I remember that boss.
Well, I remember him, but however you
do you have to
tackled
beat him?
Choking on his own vomit is fun to say out loud, but
yeah.
No, but
I don't know.
Yeah, my strategy was he would do his little vomit, and then I would clean up the vomit and then jump on his head.
Yeah, that was my thing. There was just no strategy to it. It's just time. There was too many bosses that required you to just wait. And that's not good. I want to be able to go up and do like, wow, hit him with the stomach and then go blah, and then does something.
I don't know. I thought the bosses were engaging enough. They
had variety.
Yeah. I didn't hate any of the bosses really. But you know what? If we're gonna like think back, I think Mario Galaxy did it a lot better. Like remember the giant mechanical thing in like Mario Galaxy? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, how engaging was that? Yeah.
So engaged. 10 out of 10 engaged.
But, you know, the engagement levels for these bosses are fairly good. You have to keep moving around, and I think the big thing is that Nintendo still does not want you to have long, drawn-out battles. So like these things are over before you know it. It's like 3 hits and they're gone. And I think like the most engaging, of course, which is very appropriate, is Bowser's final battle.
That was very good. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, I did.
Not too bad. Yeah, someone hyped it up as the best Bowser battle of all time.
Oh, no. It's
Yeah.
not that, but it's
I gotta disagree
good.
there. I think like probably Galaxy 1's Bowser is the best in my mind.
I did like that one.
Yeah.
That one was really good.
I always like the music to the final boss in Mario games.
Music in this game. Oh,
Yes.
can we get on the music in this game?
Yeah.
Freaking heck. I love this game's music. The Woodland Kingdom music is the best song, like, ever. Just ever. Never
Ever?
done. Ever.
Ever? Really? Ever?
It's so weird, and it does not belong in the stage. I will say that because it feels like you should be surfing.
I don't remember any of the music in this game.
Well, you don't mind.
Whoa, it almost sounded like you were.
You don't remember that?
But you know what? At first it sounded like you were doing the song from Rocket Knight.
Yes. Yeah, it did sound kind of like that. What about
Just Rocket Knight again.
What about Metro Kingdom?
Dude, that's so good.
You don't remember that?
Very background noise to me.
Wow.
What? Well, she says, didn't you like those kind of songs though? That had like a good melody to them.
Yeah,
Was
but
that your thing?
Yeah, but like the thing is, it has to be good too.
Wow.
Wow.
You hear that? That was some shots. They were fired right at the.
What's it been with you in music recently?
I don't
Every
know,
time we talk about
man.
music in
No,
a game, I'm like,
I
yeah, I
feel
like
like
it.
you gotta-
Jesus, like, it's crap.
Samus Returns music I really liked. So I mean,
I don't remember any of that.
oh really?
You've got a strange handle on music sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
I can never gauge it.
Yeah, sorry. To everyone listening and to these folks that are
man.
talking to me right now, I know I'm probably like the enemy number 1 right now.
I will say this: while there's some great tracks in Odyssey, Galaxy just did it better for me.
Oh,
both
yeah,
both
Odyssey.
Galaxy
Yeah.
games had
I
better
remember
music.
Galaxy's music. I could hum
Yeah.
you like 5 different tunes right now. I won't.
What was that? Somebody just announced dinner.
Introducing King Beta 64.
Oh man, yeah, but for me, Galaxy did it better. But there were some really notable pieces of music in this. Just kind of, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good for the music.
It's good. I think it was good.
But you know what?
Have we been just bashing this game too much?
No, but this is the thing. I want to get there. You read some reviews for this, and you kind of look at it and you go, "Wow, it's getting 10s across the board. It's the best game ever." But it's not perfect. I wish
No
people
game
would
is
stop
perfect.
throwing 10s. Just because it's a Mario game and it's really good does not mean to throw 10s at it. It's no way a 10 out of 10 game. Never.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe not even. Maybe an 8.
No.
It's probably an 8 because there's so many good things about it. Some really special moments, fantastic music, great worlds. The idea of you can be this enemy that you've fought against for years and years and years. You can be a Goomba, you can be a Hammer Brother, you can be a whatever.
For the
You know,
record,
that's
Hammer Brothers and Charging Chucks canonically now have rainbow-colored hair.
yeah, exactly. So who knew? But
Yeah.
now we know this. But you
I'm
know
sorry.
these.
Boundary
These
break.
these ideas of being these enemies and things and seeing what they're about, that's inspired. It's amazing. But that's no way a 10 out of 10 game right there just for that. You know, it really does mix up the formula of what a Mario game is. And like I said, some very special moments, great music. But the game is too easy. It feels like there's a lot of padding to it. As I mentioned earlier, hey, here's a moon. You didn't have any challenge for it. Just have it. What's the point of that?
I still have 2 complaints left, but I
Oh,
do
go
want
on.
I do
I
want to
got
praise
another
it.
complaint too.
Yeah.
I do want to praise
Why don't we have
this.
like the last 30 minutes all praise?
Okay.
Yeah.
make up for
I got
that.
good praises too, yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Stay tuned. Skip to this part of the video for praises.
For those who want to still believe it's perfect, you can skip to 35 minutes.
We'll just sell it as a perfect game after the 30-minute mark. No.
Okay, sounds good.
No. Okay. But two more complaints that I had. One was the controls, the additional controls that Mario has, I felt were probably the least intuitive I've ever played in a Mario game. Now it's all functional and you can learn all of the moves, but I feel like the moves that they expect you to learn in this one are the hardest to input and remember than any other Mario game. So
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Like for example, let's see, the dive is fine. The roll was something I never really quite got down. Like it's like a series of button inputs that I like never quite understood. Another one is I still never quite got the throwing out the cap and being able to jump off of it, like home towards it and just jump off of it. There's like another one too that I'm trying to think of right now.
You know what's my hardest move?
What?
The freaking spin jump. Okay, so in Mario Sunshine, they kind of brought it from Mario Sunshine. In Mario Sunshine, you would kind of twist the stick really fast and press A and you go... It's great. Life is good. Life is fantastic. But in Mario Odyssey, you have to, like, instead of just going, like, once and immediately jumping, this requires you to spin it around, like, 3 times. Wait for Mario to start spinning and then press the A button. It's horrible.
One more I got is the needle bird.
For no reason.
So like obviously that's not part of his main array of moves, but there's an integral part of the game where you have to be the needle bird and like stick into the walls and like climb up the walls with the needle. I had a huge a really hard time with this mechanic because like the idea is that you're supposed to cling to the wall, then hold the joystick back and release so that he springs in whatever direction you send him in. Then it gets to a point where you have to have like moving platforms or moving wall pieces, and you have to like make sure you cling to the correct type of wall. And like I'm trying to guide the bird over to a certain direction, so that he can manage to cling onto the wall, but at the same time he's also spinning his head in the wrong direction, so when I push the button to then go inside the wall, he shoots out in the wrong direction and I fall down. Like I fumbled over that so bad. What about you guys? Did you guys have any problems with that?
No.
Not really, no.
Straight up no.
Yeah, no, it's different mileage for different folks, and the same can be said for his moveset in general. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have absolutely no problem getting all these moves down, but for me, I was like,
getting old, she says.
What is it? It's jump.
Maybe.
Just jump, then Cappy, then jump, then hold Y. It's like, what is this garbage? I get it. There's like 8 buttons on this controller. Why do I have to do all this crazy shenanigans?
This is the thing. Like I did, like they throw so many like move sets at you. It's like, whoa, what is this? It's a bit like daunting. But once you get it down, it's like, oh, okay, fine. I'm very fluent in it now. But one of the things that I was just like, this makes no sense. You're swimming in water, you can do this little dash move by pressing ZL and then pressing Y, and Mario will do a little dart forward, it's a bit quicker. When you're in the water, you only need B to just swim normally. Why, we have all these other buttons, why does ZL and then pressing Y have to be the dash? Just put it on A. Just put it on A, because A does the same thing as B. Why we got 2 buttons that are doing the same thing? Just have that be that, because there was one moon that was required. You have to throw the hat at the little scarecrow. He's underwater. This was in Seaside Kingdom, and it's a timed thing. You have to get to the other side really quickly. And I was like, all right, you got to do the ZL thing. Why? Oh goddamn! And every time, if you miss it, you do a ground pound. If you miss it the other way, you just throw your hat out. And it's just like, why couldn't that just be on A? Come on, guys, just put it on A.
Yeah.
That was my biggest, that was the bit. But apart from that, every other control moveset was a bit like of a learning curve, but I got it, and I'm very fluent in it now, and I love how Mario moves in this.
Yeah.
I think speedrun-wise, this will be a fantastic movement-based game. Speedruns are going to be insane for this.
This is why I love Game Club podcasts, because if this was an individual review, I'd sound like some kind of jerk where it's just like, the controls are unintuitive and they do not work. Do not buy this game. But like, because we have 2 people to bounce off of, we have like 2 other individuals that probably speak for the majority of folks at home. But I'm just speaking of my experience. I was really having a hard time with these controls. Like something as simple as the long jump. I love the long jump. It's like my key move in every Mario game that I ever play.
Agreed, same.
But like they added this new move that ends up failing my long jump half the time, which is the roll. Like for some reason, like I'd say like 1 out of every 8 times I do the long jump, he just goes into a roll instead, and I'm like, no, and it ruins everything because that's all ground based. Whereas with the long jump, obviously you're trying to cover over long gaps. So if I'm rolling instead of long jumping, chances are I'm gonna die. Yeah, so it's like it
I never
wasn't
had a
just.
problem with that.
Just don't press Y.
Yeah. Good point. Why did that happen to me so many times? I don't understand.
I don't know. Have you got big thumbs? You're hitting B, but you're
I
really
do.
slapping
I have,
Y?
I have abnormally large thumbs. I wear Mario
gotta
gloves
be.
every time I play a Mario game. That's
There it is. See, you got
That's
2
a
into
good
character. Hey, did you guys get the? Did you get the
No, I
edition
didn't.
where you get Cappy?
Wait,
guys.
there's an edition where you get Cappy?
Well, in this country, you pre-ordered it from our
Pre-game.
game shop that we have, the biggest one in this country, and you get Cappy.
Your country is better than you get all the special editions. Why? You got
was
the Metroid
cool.
special edition. You got the Cappy special edition. I
Yeah,
ain't got no caps.
it's great because we're like I gear Elliot up to these games now because he loves Mario games, and it's I got Superstar Saga, the remake, Mario and Luigi on 3DS, and that came with just a regular Mario hat. This one came with Cappy, so we were both sat there playing Super Mario Odyssey with our hats on.
Aw.
It was a good moment, and this is why I love this game, because we played it together, and you get to see it at his point of view, and he asks all the questions you kind of expect of a 3-year-old. And it's like, oh, I get this now. Like, you kind of have to, like, really understand that Mario is what's happening?
Why does that man have nipples?
Don't look at the nipples, son. Yeah, it's like you get to experience it from their point of view, and there's a lot of wonderment. Mario is such a great character, and I think this is the best depiction of him yet. You know, he's
So emotions.
Yes,
So many
like-
emotions.
Have you if you go to the pause screen, you go to the save tab, he's like,
Oh my
smiling.
God, yes.
I was
I was
like,
just gonna say
"Ah."
and I was just like, wow, they have put so much care into just like bringing that childlike aspect to Mario out, you know, through animation. It's just like,
With
you know,
that said, let's now segue to only talking about great things with this game.
yes,
Nice.
okay, yeah.
Let's talk about when Mario first turns into a frog.
Oh yes,
When
what
he
a-
freaking goes like, what? What? A little bit?
I got a little bit
Go
of a Majora's Mask vibe from it.
yeah, kind of,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
It's like, for some reason, it made me laugh so hard. I loved it. By the way,
Yeah.
that world that you first start off in, I love the color scheme, the aesthetic of the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Where it's like wispy
It's very
white.
Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibe.
Yeah.
going
Ah,
on.
true,
yeah,
true.
Yeah. But,
I was like, if this is a sign of things to come, I'm really happy with it. Whoever was the hero of this game is whoever did the level, like aesthetics. Whoever was in charge of all that, you're a genius, and we need you back for more and more Mario games because
We're gonna have you on the Game Club podcast.
we don't need like the generic ice level. We need a level with frickin' walrus people, you know, and like snowstorms and things of that ilk. It's like there was so much creativity jam packed into the level designs.
do you know what I
Woodland
love?
was the
I love that the Snow Kingdom, that part where you have to enter a race. There has to be another person racing, but they're in their dressing room and they don't want to race. And you then just throw the hat at them and you become them. So now they're in the race. It's like, that's brilliant. Just such a clever little move.
Oh, you don't want to race? Well,
I'll be
too
you.
bad.
So you're doing it now.
I'll kill
know.
you.
Secret
you know-
courage. But
you know, I-
the race itself was very fun and different too.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
bouncy, and like you got speed boosts by like pressing A as soon as you landed. I thought that was really clever and fun. And again, for something that's so throwaway as just one race in one part of the game, it was fun. Like I would love to have like a multiplayer version of that. You know, play it with 4 of my friends.
Maybe this is the kind of thing. There's so many things I want to talk about, but while we're on this subject, I sort of think, you know, they did Breath of the Wild DLC. I think they probably will do some kind of DLC for this, and if they do, Nintendo, if you're watching, probably not, but if you are, slap in like Delfino Island as a world you can go to? Because I thought that was going to be a thing, because people would see it on the map and they thought, oh, is Delfino Island going to be in this? And to my knowledge, it is not. So I really want that to be like a DLC
callbacks,
thing.
Have you guys unlocked the classic Mario 64 Mario costume?
Yeah. I was like,
Oh no!
I was getting low poly flashbacks, but yeah. Yeah, that was just another neat touch, you know. And the game is full of stuff like that. Like
You know
that
what
whole.
I love.
Go on,
You know what I love?
tell me.
I love my favorite. I'll give you my 2 favorite moments from this game so far, because I'm still rushing through this game. Favorite moment number 1 is in Woodland Kingdom, when you go up, like, you get into this like room, and there's a bunch of like dead of those robots, and they're like all dead, and then you climb up the freaking like plant, and then you go to the top and you see all these robots in line to get charged, and one of them's dead.
Yeah,
And
that was
it's
kind of
just this
sad.
I was like, holy crap, this is so sad, and I felt like emotions, and I wanted to cry.
Wait, this is the point in Woodland Kingdom with the 3 charge stations.
Yeah, and like only one's working, the guy's taking forever, and someone's like, I am going to die.
Is one of them
was
dead?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of them was on the floor dead.
Wow, did not pick up on
And
that.
apparently had been there for a while because it's all rusty. But, so basically, favorite moment number 1 is the fact of these
Whoa.
robotic flower watering cans made me feel emotion.
Guys, I think we got a special guest from the Nintendo PR team. Hey, you want to speak up real quick? Excuse me, he's not dead. He's just simply deactivated.
It's just capture. He's not brainwashed.
Yeah, that's right. Please do not use the word possession to talk about this game. There is no possession whatsoever. It's family friendly and fun.
Captured in air quotes.
Yes, he is captured. Yes, of course. All right. Well,
captured,
see you later, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed the game.
Okay, it's second favorite moment. And it's so stupid, but it was when you freaking boot up the Metro Kingdom for the first time, and you walk to the right, and there's a guy that says, "Oh, Pauline's not doing anything. Everything's falling apart. But you know what? Forget about it."
That was your moment?
I laughed for 15 minutes.
Wow. It doesn't take
It was
much, huh?
literally 3 minutes of like rolling on the floor laughing, and then 8 minutes of me chuckling to myself.
In an
Wow.
alternate universe in which all of your audience members are Beta 64, you just got to get up on stage and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, forget about it."
Forget about it.
It was so freaking funny.
It's
I'm laughing right now thinking about it.
So wait, Beta, have you finished this yet, Beta? Or
No.
oh wow.
you
like
should've
so-
just lied.
Ah man.
No, I'm very close though. I'm very close. So I'm basically at the end.
Did you know about you could be Bowser? Did you know about
Well,
that?
I actually took out my headphones when you were talking about that, but thank you.
Oh. Wow.
No, I actually knew that. Someone spoiled me because the freaking guy on Twitter just posted up a picture of that.
Which guy?
Like-
yeah, I saw a lot of this.
Yeah,
Which guy
you
was
wrote
this?
him and said why.
Oh,
why-
man, I don't even
Remember
know
that
what I
guy?
do half the time. I think I sleep. I think I sleep while I tweet. I did do that. You're
explains a lot
right.
of
I'm gonna
things.
look this
Dude,
up now.
like, what the freak? Why do you spoil a game like that? It's just jerky. He literally just typed M and then put a picture of Bowser moving.
What an ass.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
let me find this. Yeah, because I remember doing that, and I was like, why?
It's like, why would you do? Explain to me, what kind of kick do you get from doing that?
I know.
What do you
need to-
gain?
I need to see this. Did I literally say why?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you might have said a little bit more. Like, why you freaking
Yeah. I wouldn't have said that. I think
No,
I said.
I'm pretty sure you just cursed that child out. I feel like we're going off topic now. While
Yeah,
you're searching for
well,
that,
Yeah,
I
you
wanna-
guys.
Yeah,
you guys
she says
move on
you.
to,
You start
I'm gonna
talking.
see this.
You know, one of the things that I think we've understated up to this point is the possession. I'm sorry, the capturing
Oh yeah, capturing. Sorry.
of enemies and creatures and all that stuff. You know, one of the best things about an old game that I played called Little Nemo on the NES was that you could essentially do the same thing, which is capture enemy types and use them to increase your abilities. And then that whole idea was never really utilized in too much else since then. For Mario, yeah, more or less. It's kind of Yeah, you're right. But I don't know. Something about Kirby I just don't like. I hate that series.
You don't like Kirby?
Why?
Wow.
Why?
I just want to get a rise out of you.
Oh,
so-
you
so
got
you-
bamboozled.
Well,
Anyways, but Mario
was mean.
Odyssey. I'm sorry. Group hug. Bring it in.
Oh, hey, huh?
I cannot find this tweet, by the way, so I'm just going to take you guys' word for
Yeah,
it. Do
just
you remember
forget
doing it?
Anyways, what was I saying? But you know, Mario Odyssey, like it's really like it's such an amazing aspect of the game. It truly is, and I'm part of me wants to think like, oh, they utilize it too much. It kind of takes away from the platforming elements of a traditional 3D Mario game. But then in the same ilk, I'm like, it was incredibly fun. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
dude,
just-
if a game is fun, it's fun. Blah. We
Yeah.
can have all these critiques, and we can talk all about how we nitpick things, and that's fine. That's actually a good thing. It's a good thing to nitpick your game,
Yeah,
especially if you're going in game
Yeah.
design.
For the
But
record, all the complaints
it
that
is
I
fun.
had about this game can be chalked up to nitpicks, and you can. I'm just saying this right now. It's still an amazing game, worth every penny, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the only thing that you can do to ruin this game for yourself is to be too hung up in the past and compare it to how it was to things in the past. I have taken myself out of my own experience as a Mario gamer and said to myself, if this was the first game I ever played at like 10 years old of a Mario game, I would be blown out of this world, and every complaint that I had wouldn't apply to this game because it would be my first time trying a Mario game in general. So
You know what this sounds like? Breath of the Wild.
no,
Nintendo, think about this. You basically just said throw out all of your past thoughts and conventions of Mario games and really just enjoy this one. Didn't we say exactly the same thing about Breath of the Wild?
not exactly.
The
But what-
idea is, yeah, I see where you're going with this.
What,
but,
what I'm trying to say is Nintendo has been doing recently just throwing conventions out of the water. Just throwing them out. It's like, oh, Legend of Zelda, big dungeon, screw that, small dungeon. Mario game with everything being Mario characters, screw that, humans, dinosaurs.
Yeah, I
I will,
gotcha. But like,
I will say one thing. Go on,
ahead.
you go.
Okay. I was just gonna say that in the case of Breath of the Wild, right? I could play Breath of the Wild, really enjoy that as my first Zelda game, and I'm still very certain that I could then later on in life go to like something like Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess, so that it's a little closer to home and be like, wow. I love these dungeons. How come they didn't do this in Breath of the Wild? It's like I really like what they did with dungeons in this one. Whereas with Mario Odyssey, it's like all of my complaints are chalked up to, well, this is what I expect Mario to be. But if it was the first time ever playing Mario Odyssey, and then I go to Super Mario World, which is the one that I compared it to earlier in this podcast, I could look at Super Mario World and be like, well, where's the realistic dragons? I'm used. Mario series is supposed to have giant T-Rex dinosaurs. I just see the stupid green. What's up with the aesthetic of this green dragon? That's like, it's not even like a real dragon.
And all it does is say Yoshi.
Yeah. Oh god, it do so well.
That was actually so good, though.
I was gonna say one thing. This tends to be a thing that a lot of game franchises are kind of leaning into a bit too heavily. There is a certain nostalgia kind of based thing, which was great at the end of this game. I literally found myself saying, "Oh, Nintendo, stop!" Hitting me with the nostalgia. But I didn't really enjoy the parts of the game where you the original Super Mario Brothers kind of sprite-based thing and doing that. I didn't enjoy any of that.
Hey, this is the last 30 minutes where we praise it up and down. Ian.
I know. I just forgot about
what do you
that.
think
and I was
you're
like,
doing?
No, you're right.
What I'm saying is, we need to stop leaning into nostalgia so much. There are certain games where that is a couple of weeks ago we did Sonic Mania, and that was old nostalgia. That was the point of that thing. But with this, we didn't need any of that. They keep doing it as well, because they did it with Color Splash. There was a world where you were, the original Super Mario Brothers, running a side-scrollery kind of thing. It's like, stop doing that, Nintendo. We don't need that. We know where Mario came from, and to be quite honest, he's done better since. So let's just stop leaning into that.
So there's part of me that there's two things I want to touch upon. First of all, I love my nostalgia. You leave it alone. I mean,
Keep nostalgia engaged.
I love it too. It's just when it's like, it was very heavy-handed in my opinion.
But like I was just gonna say, like, whereas with this, my complaint with this game, where I kind of meet with you on this, is when I saw it the first time, I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool, like classic Mario, and then it did it again, and I was like, oh, and then again, and then again, and again, and then two times and then 2 times in the same world, and I'm like, nope.
It just wears off real quick.
Yeah, it was like, I did not expect this to be a main mechanic of the game, and I certainly don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's fine, but at the same time, it's like, it should have just been a fun little Easter egg, not a primary feature of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree with it. I thought it was just me, but yeah.
I liked it.
I knew you would say.
I thought they did some ingenious stuff with it, like with the whole gravity switching one. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, but it was.
That's something that's been done.
It was done better in Galaxy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, but don't tell them that.
Well.
And there's one last thing. This is something I really wanted to get out of the way, and I was gonna just leave it alone because we were gonna just praise the game up and down after this point. But I do want to say this one thing.
Someone else screwed that up.
Okay, so here's something that really, like, again, it doesn't hurt the game as a whole, especially if it was your first Mario game ever. But for me as a Nintendo fan, right? I knew that Pauline was in this game. I knew that there was a city level in this game. Mm-hmm. I was expecting a remake, and I even saw barrels on top of rooftops and stuff like that, and I saw red girders, and I was like, yes, all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and we're gonna get a remade stage where you play against Donkey Kong and dodge barrels and stuff, and they copped out and did the stupid retro version, and I'm like, no, I could have just played the original Donkey Kong if I wanted to dodge barrels in 8-bit style. I wanted a remake of it with the remade model of Pauline, the remade model of Mario, and I was hoping a remade model of Donkey Kong.
I wanted
like
Donkey
a cameo
Kong
from
in that
Donkey
game
Kong.
So bad.
Yeah. I was so mad about that. I was like, you
It
should
was
have
just an 8-bit. I just wanted him there. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted him on stage or something, or like steals Pauline, and then it would have been like, oh, now here's your next mission, save Pauline.
And just icing on top, I just wanted to say too, and even if we did get that, we all know it would have been like the rare revival version of Donkey Kong. It would have been awesome if they went back to the retro art style of Donkey Kong, with the white eyes and the redness underneath and stuff like that. The stuff that's on the arcade cabinets and all that jazz.
That would be real cool.
They did make a nod to it. He's like a piece of graffiti on one of the buildings. It's classic looking Donkey Kong.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I'll have to go looking for that.
Keep an eye out, gentlemen. I could send you a picture, but I'm sure you want to find it yourself.
I want to find it myself.
Yeah.
I want to feel good about myself.
Captain Toad on an adventure. Sorry.
So there we go.
So I feel like we've gotten it all out.
Yeah, so listen, everyone at home, please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. I really did enjoy this game. It's just, there's like some introspection on my own part. I had to take myself out of my own fandom for Mario to really enjoy this game. But
you had to open all the chakras.
That's right. I had to learn sexy jutsu. I don't know.
Wow, that's a thing?
What?
That's new. I might have to get me some of that.
Wait, guys, let's all join together.
Oh.
Let's join a class at the YMCA.
All right, guys, you guys ready to do
summary time?
Final thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go second.
Okay.
Should I go first? Yeah, I think I should go first because
go on then. Go.
Yeah, go first. Yeah. She says up on stage.
Thanks, Leno. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just recap. Essentially, this is a very solid game, and there's really no reason why you shouldn't enjoy it. Personally, I had to battle some demons as far as being a longtime Mario fan, I guess I was just too much of a purist. Although Mario can be as wacky as he ever wants to be, there's still, in my mind, some things that should have remained sacred that this game didn't accomplish. But outside of that, I really enjoyed this game. As far as the best 3D platformer of this year, it goes to Hat in Time for me, surprisingly.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wouldn't you like just kind of meh on Hat in Time and then before?
What's that?
Wouldn't you kind of like just meh about it when you were thinking about playing it?
Yeah, I wasn't interested really in playing it because aesthetically it didn't really look like appealed to me. But once you get in there, it's really unique and it's a really solid platformer.
Why haven't we done a
We could do Hat in Time. I need to actually properly play it. I'm waiting for it to come out on consoles because my PC apparently is garbage and just doesn't like playing it with all the glorious graphics. I have to like dumb it down to the point where there's no shadows for it to run at 60 FPS, and I'm like, it's okay. I'll wait for it to come out on consoles. Wow. Well, there you go. But yeah, we can do Hat in Time. But yeah, so you think Hat in Time is better than this?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Dude. Wow, I
wasn't willing to say that in the least. But like once I actually got in the driver's seat, I was like, wow, this is a really good game.
Should we like try to do that next week?
What?
I've already played and beaten it, so.
I mean, I've already played it. Andy.
I want to play it with the nice graphics, though.
But graphics aren't. You don't have. We won't talk about graphics.
Yeah, but that you cannot deny that's a.
Yeah. Okay,
whether people
right. Anyway.
like people will say like, oh, graphics aren't everything, but they're like 40, 60. You know, they're a pretty big deal. How a game presents itself, like, okay, for instance, if Super Mario Odyssey looked like SpongeBob SquarePants, would people be infused about it? I don't know.
I thought it looked great.
Well,
anyway,
it looked great in like 2002, whenever that game came out.
Probably 2002, actually.
Yeah, well, there you go.
My summary, I will say, Super Mario Odyssey is a super fun game. Going on in Odyssey, having a blast. What are you laughing at?
I know we're not supposed to interrupt our final thoughts, but it's just like Super Mario Odyssey is a super fun time that you ought to see.
Did you make that pun?
I didn't make that pun. I did not make it. Did I accidentally make it?
If you
kinda, because you started off by saying
genius.
super. It's super.
Wow, I'm so subconsciously
Odyssey
good at
this one.
that.
That was fantastic.
Okay, anyway, getting back in the mode.
Go.
Mario Odyssey it's fantastic. I love the different art styles that make no sense. I love the fact that this game is so weird and bizarre that it doesn't make sense, and I love it. I love the gameplay. I love all that. I don't like how it's very, very just kind of a walk. You don't feel like you're platforming. You're more just walking around and doing stuff, which I mean it's fine. It didn't have that kind of same like Mario 64 clock tower kind of thing feel to it. It was more, or even like Galaxies where you're like jumping between planets and getting over gaps and stuff. It felt more like I was playing the water level in Galaxy, or like the B level in Mario Galaxy. It felt more like a walk than a jump. But hey, jump up, Superstar. Jump up, don't be scared.
Here he goes.
Let's do the Odyssey.
He's doing it. Okay.
Let's do the Odyssey. Also, that's the best song ever made. It's just FYI.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying after a while.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It's very catchy.
I mean, why am I even surprised?
not like it.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, you get that from him, but me, not necessarily.
Thank you, Andy. You understand.
Well, it is still a bit annoying, but carry on.
Just talk. No, I'm done. That's it. You ought to see it.
Wow, you did it again. Okay, so Super Mario Odyssey, fantastic game from start to finish. I could not put this down. It kind of, there was a thought that washed over me, was like, I'm really enjoying this, and it's always that kind of like, oh, I'll get one more moon. 10 moons later, you're still playing. There is a problem in the respect that it's far too easy. I feel, for me anyway, I've been playing these kind of games for a long time, so I kind of just breezed through it. But I enjoyed every single minute of it. The originality, I love the idea that you can jump inside these enemies and you know, you get to see it from the other side, essentially, and it's a lot of fun. It definitely mixes up the gameplay. The way the game looks is beautiful. I do think there is kind of a weirdness about the consistency between the worlds, but I think it works for this game, as I stressed earlier. Get those real humans out of there, though. Get those guys out. They need to leave. Make them all look like Pauline. Put that in a patch. Nintendo, I know you can do it. You patch ridiculous things sometimes. Music was amazing, maybe slightly forgettable. Not a patch on Galaxy by far. Is this game a 10 out of 10 game? Seen a lot of reviews. Seen a ton of reviews. 10s across the board. Stop lying, people. It's definitely not a 10 out of 10. It's an 8. It's an easy 8. Maybe a 9 at a push.
8.5.
Yeah, 8. Yeah,
7.5.
That's a nice. Yeah.
A+start's getting on with the rants.
Yeah. But that's just how I felt about it. I need reviewers to stop being so like, this is 10 just because it's this series. Like they did it for Breath of the Wild, and that was a great game, but that was no way a 10 either.
Next time on Game Club Podcast, we're reviewing reviews.
Yeah,
hey,
seriously.
You know what?
Towards the end of your final thoughts, I'm just imagining you on a stage and like security guards trying to pull you off, like
It's not real.
And you know what? You know what else? No. Let me speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Listen. If you're a Mario fan, this is the best in the series. I really do believe that.
What?
I think yeah.
What?
I think there's so many great ideas about it, and I really did enjoy it from start to finish. There's so many great moments. The ending was, for once, a decent ending, and then it just the game just keeps going, and there's like 500 moons in this thing. They need to have not made it so easy, like I stressed before, with like, hey, just ground pound this thing and you get a moon. That needs to go. And just make them more relevant to, something fun. Yeah, they should have been more platforming. I agree with what you said, Beta. Yeah. But
yeah, I agree too.
Yeah, I really do think this is, if it's not the best in the series, it's definitely like Galaxy level. It's definitely. That's my opinion. Opinions can be wrong.
No, but like with that said, with no explanation whatsoever, no context, what's your favorite 3D Mario game now that you've played this one?
Okay, so
Sunshine.
it definitely.
Sunshine's my favorite.
Okay.
Always will be.
A+start? A+start.
Damn. Okay, you know what? If they put... Okay, Nintendo, listen hard. Come close. If you're gonna do DLC, if you put Isle Delfino in Super Mario Odyssey, I will say this is the best game of all time. I will give it the 10.
exactly
I will
the
give
same.
it the 10 that you
10
guys...
out of 10.
Yeah.
You're
That would just
sellout.
be... Yeah, I would sell
Wow.
out for that. Do it.
For me,
And, yeah.
it's Mario 64. Close second would be Super Mario Galaxy.
See, everybody's got their favorites. There is no right or wrong answer. It's purely how you feel about the game.
You're wrong about that. No.
And you're just wrong. Whatever it is you think, it's just wrong. So, yeah, whatever.
Are we good? We were just...
I think
We're
we're
good,
good.
gentlemen. This was
Go
good.
buy it. Go buy
Yeah.
it. Go have yourselves an Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Even Mr. Curmudgeon over here, I'll still say go buy it.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, it is definitely... This is the first game that is worth having a Switch for. Because I said this on a live stream.
nice.
I said, yeah, because the Switch... So far, the library has just been a bunch of ported over games from either the Wii U or stuff that, like, people are like, what about Splatoon 2? That was just, like, more of the same. Like, this is the first exclusive Switch title that needs to be, you need to own a Switch for this game. So I'm going to, there you go. I said it.
I'll agree with you.
I'll agree with you.
Go buy a Switch and go
Oh,
get
Captain,
this game.
Go buy
my
a Switch.
Captain. Go buy a
Yeah,
Switch.
they got a bundle. Get the
Yeah.
bundle.
Get the bundle.
Get the
bundle.
bundle.
Get it signed by Reggie
Get the
Fils-Aimé.
bundle. Get the bundle.
All right, so
Now
we
need
good?
someone to remix that.
We're good.
Yep, I'm good. I'm feeling it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Game Club podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. Twitter handles are dropping down from the top of the screen right now. Capture that. And give us a follow. If you came from one channel, probably A+start, and you want to check out Beta 64, Beta 64's channel is
Or
in
she
the
says,
video
or she
description down below. You don't gotta check me out. I was a jerk this episode.
No, check out She Said. You can check out all his videos and write comments about how you
Yeah,
don't
leave
like
like
him.
comments like that are just not relevant to the video or the subject
Just
matter
write
he's talking about. Just be like,
hashtag She Says doesn't understand music.
yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
It's the worst thing. You guys don't understand. They listen to you when you say this stuff. So,
They do? Okay, hashtag.
The comments about to get real weird.
yeah.
We change it to hashtag she says has interesting opinions about music, but we respect them.
Yeah, I think that's a fair compromise.
We're doing that. That's the hashtag this week.
No deal.
Make one every week for she says.
Anyways, guys, we got our little end card slate right here. So check us out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, boy.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Peach. Peach was a real babe in this game, huh? She was just like, she was rocking it. I'd marry
man.
Peach.
You're making
I
me
was-
uncomfortable.